Thanks, but no thanks. I'll heal on my own just fine.
Oh, well if you're sure. I'm worried about you though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends.
You try to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street after all. She doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead?
Well, sure, there are things around here that I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know that I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. It's not easy to be the one in charge. You have to be 1. Conscientious, 2. Considerate, and 3. Competent at all times.
You try to think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, or competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey, new planet, new you. You assure her that you have what it takes.
I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time for a visit to the Mother Grub!
You're careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out of the nursery. She takes you back outside, and these caverns are even bigger than you first realized. They're also dark and cold and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead up to the planet's surface. Does she really just live down here all the time? To make some conversation during this cold hike in a damp cave, you mention that living underground like this seems kind of depressing. You realize too late that this wasn't very tactful, but she doesn't get angry at her conversational gambit of insulting her home.
Oh no, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else. I quite enjoy it. The brooding caverns are a place for life and birth, not death. That's pretty uncommon on Alternia.
You're still not sure what she means by brooding caverns, but you guess it has something to do with the wigglers in her nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of a ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of this cavern. It's enormous, probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more wigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls and the larger stalactites, with some young trolls crawling out of them. Walking, flying, and crawling among the wigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters of all kinds and shapes and sizes. In the center of the cavern, there is... you don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge, many-legged queen bug of some kind with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of her head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs from which you assume the gray wigglers will hatch. And marching through all this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets either to or away from the mother grub. They look armed and they move like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You are instinctively terrified of them.
This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Jade Bloods like myself are entrusted with looking after this process, which is of course a very special job. 1. The Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs that hatch new grub broods. 3. After the wigglers emerge from their cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by a lussus to help care for them. 4. Together the young trolls and their lussi go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up, or get culled, or whatever.
As Bronya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left and in the process tramples over a few wigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the lussi cry out, crowding around their dead or injured charges. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears up on its hind legs, hitting one of the other lussi with its front hoof.
Oh geez, not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever a lussus goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's the potential for it to lash out at other lussi, the wigglers, or the mother grub herself. We Jade Bloods cannot let that happen!
She looks so concerned, a marked contrast to how confident she's seemed before now. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems like now's your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue lussus, and that someone could be... you? Fight the monster! Save the day! You've got this. The bison lussus seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other lussi have now gotten riled up too, with some of them trying to gather wigglers to keep them out of harm's way, and others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like it could turn into a monster stampede, and they're close to the mother grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great! Fighting a monster single-handed seems like a daunting first step in a friendship, but you did tell her you could be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop that Lussus, calm down all the other Lussi, and protect the mother grub, all without breaking a sweat, and hopefully without breaking any more bones either.
Whoa there, I was going to suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take the lead on this.
That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally you would be all about sitting back and letting her protect you, because, well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. You do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You take down raging bison back on your home planet all the time. You're known for it, actually.
Well, if you say that this isn't your first ungulate roping gallop exhibition, I'll believe you. I'll hang back to let you give it a shot. But if it gets too overwhelming in there, I'm right here! 1. Caring for the mother grub is my responsibility as a Jade Blood. 2. I'd never abandon a friend to deal with the mess on their own. If we end up being friends, that is.
Oh, hell yes! Now you have reason to hope. You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bison have horns like that? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure they don't all have teeth that nasty. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. At first you try to calm the Lussus down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths in reaction to its trampled charge. You're not even sure it can understand human speech, come to think of it. You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the mother grub. You look around to see if any of these other Lussi look vaguely like Earth Shepherd dogs, but no dice. You hesitate too long and the Lussus turns away, its furious eyes falling on the mother grub. It stamps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are capable of. It's obviously about to charge, and you can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it football style, doing everything you can with your flimsy human body to drag it onto its side. It half works. You plow into the Lussus and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over onto a nest of wigglers, taking you down with it. Wigglers and young trolls go bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress, and their Lussi descend upon you in a rage. Everything is chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the bison Lussus, which is very worrying for all your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other pissed-off Lussi trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you hear a commotion and what sounds possibly like the trouncing of the smaller Lussi that were trying to get to you. The crowd of beasts around you scatters, and then you hear her.
I'm having a hard time getting this thing off of you, and he's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. Where's a bronze blood when you need one?
You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth.
Maybe don't try to speak, or move, or help.
You experience a sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing Bronya and becoming her friend, or it could be the compression of all of your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by the mass of bison flesh on top of you, but could it be? Are these other people here to save you?
Finally! I was wondering where you all had gotten off to. Let's all work together, girls! 1. You two grab his horns to keep the head still and keep it from biting anyone. 2. The rest of you come around with me to its backside so we can push it without getting kicked.
You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that sound more confused and less furious. The pressure and pain on your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing's weight shifts, and then they must succeed in dragging it off you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not over yet. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up at the cavern ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises.
Uh-oh. The other Lusci are still agitated. Get down there and try to calm them down! Protect the mother grub!
You try to lift yourself to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all your bones got turned to confetti. Painful, painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now your head is in Bronya's lap. You try to focus more on how this is a nice place for your head to be and less on the pain.
This is not good. I don't know if my jades can reach the stampede in time and the mother grub could get injured, not to mention all these wigglers in danger. Oh no.
You didn't think this situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that had been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could be a good thing? Maybe they can instill some order.
Fuck! They're going to kill everyone!
She scrambles to her feet, in the process letting your head whack down on the cave floor. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at the Lusci, at the grubs and wigglers, and at the jade bloods. One laser beam skims the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes and a few stalactites shake loose, falling on drones and Lusci and wigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe. A whole rainbow's worth of troll, wiggler, and Luscious blood is splattering the cave walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jades to the mother grub to the imperiled wigglers like she's not sure who to help first.
I can't believe it. This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. And all because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I could let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind about my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to you being really fucking stupid.
You shrink under the weight of her glare. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask a question that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends?
Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care!